Monday was jam-packed, okay? Matlanga commission was loaded. Senzo Mewa trial was ongoing. And guess who was back inside Pagati within the courtroom? Vusi Cat Matlala, a man who needs no introduction at this point, okay? But Vusimuzi Cat Matlala was back inside the court seeking his desperate bail appeal because, he's got asthma. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala remains behind bars as the state argues he is a flight risk threat to witnesses. This is an article by City Press. Let me jump straight into it and read you what is going on with Uvusi. Did he succeed? Was he in another Dolce & Gabbana? What exactly is up with him? Here goes. The state prosecutor, Elise Leroux, argued that Vusi Cat Matlala should remain behind bars during his bail appeal hearing at the Johannesburg High Court, citing his ability to intimidate witnesses and evidence suggesting he's a flight risk beyond flight risk, okay? This man has over 80 alleged charges, as we heard in the ad hoc, or was it Madlanga? One of those, okay? And, my limited law knowledge says this man needs to stay where they know where he is. So suggests he's a flight risk with a fraudulent Eswatini passport. The defense lawyer, Lawrence Hards, countered that the lower court's bail denial violated Matlanga's constitutional rights and was based on flimsy evidence. Matlala faces charges including attempted murder and money laundering for allegedly orchestrating a hit on Tebukho Tobejane, with judgment reserved until Friday. State prosecutor argued that the controversial businessman Vusimuzi Cat Matlala should remain behind bars, citing his influence and ability to threaten witnesses if granted bail. The state prosecutor once again clashed with Matlala's lawyer in the Johannesburg High Court on Monday, the 20th of October, during Matlala's bail appeal hearing. This follows Matlala's long denied bail by the Alexandra Magistrate Court last month. This follows Matlala being denied bail by the Alexandra Magistrate Court last month. The state prosecutor emphasized to the court that the state witnesses were living in fear and that Matlala's release on bail could jeopardize the state's case. He can bypass lawful restrictions, and he has shown that he is a risk to the witnesses. He had a mobile phone while incarcerated on the 6th of July, the very same day Mkhwanazi was giving his press briefing. He was found with a cell phone, and he had saved a policeman under the name Operator, she said. She also asserted that downloads from Matlala's phone suggested that he was a flight risk, as he had allegedly obtained a fraudulent passport from Eswatini. So when it comes to his cell phone that they found him with, the downloads were corroborated by messages found on his wife's phone. She argued that Matlala, in his initial affidavit, had stated that he had no financial interests outside of South Africa, which was later found to be untrue. The prosecutor also denounced the notion that police stole luxury items during a raid at Matlala's house in December last year. However, his lawyer denies the state's allegations and said that the lower court had failed to consider that the state's case was based on flimsy grounds. This finding is a premature finding of guilt and in violation of his constitutional rights, and it disregards that even if a strong case exists, there is no reason to refuse bail, he said. He argued that Matlala was never charged for allegedly having an illegal identity document, but the court failed to consider this aspect. The learned magistrate disregarded the fact that the appellant is not charged with the possession of any forged identity document. The evidence adduced by the state did not rebut the exonerating evidence adducing by the appellant, he said. Matlala stands accused of orchestrating a hit on former Muvango actress Tebukho Tobejane in 2023 and faces multiple charges, including attempted unaliving, conspiracy to commit unaliving, and as well money laundering. He was arrested in Midrand on the 14th of May, and we know from Mkhwanazi that this was shortly after his His 360 million plus rands SAPS tender was cancelled by Minister Senzo Mchunu. And so, since he was arrested on the 14th of May, he has remained inside Phakathi within. His wife, however, was granted bail, but he has been denied bail. And it was also found that, you know what, he said he doesn't have any interest outside South Africa. He was found to have assets in Mauritius, aka a whole boat. A boat and a jet, a private jet. Matlala was also charged alongside his wife, Utsakane, and allegedly, and the alleged hitman, Tiego Mabusela, names that came up today in the Madlanga Commission, and Umusa Kekana. Mabusela's daughter, a 23-year-old, Ntabiseng Zama, is a state witness, and she's inside for the money laundering aspect, I believe. So the judgment from the High Court is reserved and will be delivered on Friday, the 24th of October, 2025. Woo! We are finding out, is he going to walk out like KT Molefe and be a free man because the state fails at doing their bare minimum job? Or this time, is he going to remain behind bars over there at Hosi Mampuru C-Max because he was found with the contraband, the cell phone? This is an absolutely developing story. Let me see if I can put some clips over here for you as well of what happened in court.